Oh, hello everyone. This is me, Dusty Circuit here, to bring you another Kerbal Space Program video. And my apologies for, kind of me, not, like, uploading that frequently lately. I'm just having a lot of stuff going on in real life and also some other commitments I've been, having. But now that I have time to do another Kerbal Space Program video, let's get on with this. So, so pretty much as I see it, pretty much as I see this, I pretty much have visited, every planet, like every planet in the outer system, including, all of the minor planets, and, in my last episode, I went to Ervo and Soden. But, there's still 4 more planets, left for me to visit. Well, 3 of them are, these planets, like the Quack Pack planets that are in really close to, Kerbal, or the star. But there is one there's one stock planet left that, I think earlier in the series I decided to skip over, largely because of how difficult it is to land on and lift off from it. But today we're going to be going to Eve. And in any Kerbal Space Program players who are familiar with Eve will probably know why I put this one off. As, it's... You see, so the gravity on it is almost double that of Kerbin. And, atmospheric pressure is, 5 times that of Kerbin. So, like, at least for the stock game, it is pretty much... Well, landing on it, you just need, heat shields, but that means you need to attach heat shields to a lander that is also big enough that has enough delta V to get off of Eve and get into orbit. So that kind of makes Eve definitely the hardest planet to land on and lift off from in the game. Well, I think Tylo's are harder to land on because of it's 1.8 Kerbin gravity but no atmosphere to slow you down. Or at least this one has an atmosphere to slow you down, but you also have to lift out of that atmosphere and get back into orbit. So, kind of both difficult in their own ways. And and then Eve's one and only moon being Gilly, which is really kind of quite the contrast, because we have Eve, which is really big, really thick atmosphere, and then Gilly is basically an asteroid with I think that's 0.005 of Kerbin gravity and no atmosphere, obviously. And, yeah. So this is going to be the rocket that we are going to be using to go to Eve. And it's definitely one of the biggest rockets I've actually built. Well, I think some of my rockets earlier in my series might be a bit bigger, but this is definitely up there because normally, like, well, in videos for like that I've watched like of this game in the past, well, what comes to mind is Zisto's series, and well, they basically like launched it in multiple sections, like the lander, like the Eve lander, the mothership, and I think that they had a Gilly lander, and then like another ship that's just meant to move the think another ship they call a tug that just needed to move the lander into an Eve trajectory, but I'm gonna be doing this an all-in-one launch, only because Kerbal Space Program really gets annoying about like staging. Like if you have a craft that splits into two separate ships, or if you have a big ship that separates into two, like you have a lander and a mothership, and you have a lot of stages on your lander, kind of like how this one is, and then you redock. It's just in my experience, I find that if you have multiple stages set up in a specific way, and then you undock a craft and then redock it up again, it just messes up your staging. So I just figured, well, probably easier just for that reason, to do this in one launch. But I'm having to use 4 of these, like the biggest fuel tanks in the near future launch vehicles mod, as well as like these engines, which are I think the most powerful engines of the cryo engines mod. Like these use liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. And I've actually found these have a little bit more specific impulse than just the regular engines that use just the regular fuel and oxidizer. And so right here we have the launch stage, which is gonna get basically everything you see in the middle of those rockets like into Kerbin orbit. So like these will get used up, and then just this in the middle will be in Kerbin orbit. And then down here I kind of wanted this to mostly use stock parts, but here and there I've kind of made use of some modded parts just for the purpose of making my life at least a little bit easier, as far as not having to build a huge and laggy spaceship. But this is still quite big and quite laggy, but at least less so if I were using the fully stock parts. And well, this is one of the nuclear saltwater engines from we believe this one's from Far Future Technologies. And also all these fuel tanks are as well. And in here is just a service bay I put RTGs in to provide power. Though this is actually a part I didn't know existed until now, and these are cargo bays added by the Near Future Launch Vehicles mod, and like this is, I think this is the 5-meter one, but there's also 7.5-meter ones, which are even bigger than this. And oh, inside of here is actually the lander that I'm gonna be sending to Gilly. And so I guess we're just gonna be carrying that with us until we've landed on Eve and lifted off from Eve, and then we're gonna send the mothership to Gilly and then land on that. And really this stuff in the middle is just habitation, and then this is, I meant this to be like a tug stage. So once I'm in Eve orbit, I separate from, I split this off. So separated from the mothership. And so then I just take this craft and then send it into an Eve entry trajectory. And then I separate that. This bottom stage, and then I deploy the heat shields, and then just this part is going to be going to Eve. And so really what I see most people do for building an Eve lander is they just put heat shields on both the front and the back. Because I think the top one kind of acts as sort of like an air brake of sorts. And then the bottom one actually protects your spacecraft from the entry heating. And this is basically a scaled up, like using tweak scale, like it's one of the nuclear fuel tanks from the Interstellar Fuel Switch mod, which I'm really just using as I guess a counterweight of sorts. So basically that helps to shift my center of mass further to the back, which actually is important for the Eve entry, because if your center of mass is more towards the center of your lander, it's just going to have a tendency to want to flip over, which is not good. You need to be facing the direction of your heat shield, otherwise you're gonna explode, basically. Or if you don't explode, you'd have a hard time actually coming down to Eve, because you're just gonna be flipping over. And I've actually done some attempts of at an Eve lander actually before my series, and actually learned quite a bit about that, actually just through trial and error. But I've actually tested this thing a few times off camera, and seems to work pretty reliably, so here's to hoping that it'll work during my video. Oh, okay. I don't know if me taking like part of this rocket apart to talk about it in this video did it or what, but or if it was when I added that cargo bay in, but it's all this staging here, all this complicated staging that is necessary for this craft to work got messed around. So I had to spend, gosh, like probably 15-20 minutes just after I recorded the previous segment just to fix all that. I really hate staging in Kerbal Space Program and how it doesn't remember where things are supposed to be. So, really hoping this works, but if it doesn't, I might have to do another take of this video. Either that, or except I'm gonna have to do a rescue mission. So here's to hoping this will work. Okay, ready for liftoff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm actually gonna have to throttle this back because despite how big this rocket is, it actually has like a thrust to weight ratio of 2. And going too fast through the lower atmosphere, in my experience, it's easier for your rocket to flip over. I have a feeling I might be time-lapsing this part more than I usually do because the game is running very slow right now. I can tell. So as this mission's gonna be rather laggy, but as I expend more and more of the spacecraft, that should get better. And now for our orbital insertion. Tilting up like this just to stop me going down. Or at least down as much. Okay, we're gonna have to use the interplanetary stage to actually get us the rest of the way into orbit. Okay, we need to stop going down, please. Okay, this is not gonna work. Okay, I have a feeling this might take multiple launch attempts, so guess I'm just going to cut to whatever the successful attempt was. I'm probably time-lapsing through a lot of this. Okay, we just about made it. We just need to get our periapsis rest of the way out of the atmosphere. Looks like we're gonna make it this time. And so really what I did the second time was I just concentrated more on going sideways than up. So I kind of tilted over like I did my gravity turn earlier next time. Because a lot of times I kind of tend to do the gravity turning late because of is like in lower down in the atmosphere I'm having to fight the atmosphere as I'm doing the gravity turn. Is that tendency to want for your rocket to want to flip over? Which is kind of why I kind of developed this habit of doing them late. But in some cases, you kind of have to do it when you don't have a lot of margin for error as far as delta V and your lift stage, which seems to be the case for this craft. But with that, we are officially in orbit. And really, we're just gonna keep burning until we're actually on an escape trajectory, which even with this craft might take multiple passes because we only have a thrust to weight. Even with this nuclear saltwater engine, which I think is a bit more thrust than a mainsail, we still only have like 0.1 thrust to weight ratio. Okay, whatever this feature is of the persistent thrust mod is really annoying. Basically, if you detach a stage, it doesn't let you time warp until you're out of physics range of that stage, which is really annoying. So I'm just gonna delete those. And now I can get back on with our mission. Actually, I think we can stage one of these radial tanks now. Okay, now let's leave Kerbin. And now we just have to get an encounter with Eve. Looks like we're gonna have to almost do a full orbit before we can actually do our transfer to Eve. I guess I'll talk about some things while we do this burn. Bogue actually finished their Cacabo series a few days ago, which it's a little bit sad that they're finishing before I'm even ready to actually go to the Cacabo system in my own series, but I guess it's just how things worked out. And, but I really just have Eve and the Quack Pack planets left to go before there's really no more destinations left to visit in the home system that we haven't been to once before in the series. And I'm actually quite looking forward to actually going to the Cacabo system. I've been playing it quite a bit. In my single player, my off-camera play, well, single player. There's multiplayer in this game, but you know what I mean. But But the Quack Pack planets actually are going to be a bit interesting, as we're actually going to be going even closer to the sun than or closer to Kerbal, or the star, than you actually would. Well, some people do actually have done missions of putting like a space station close into the sun, but uh, I'm just in this habit of referring to the star as the sun, even though in the game it's called Kerbal. But this kind of actually adds a bit of an interesting challenge, is that well, the closer you actually go to the star, the more delta V is going to be required to actually to change your course and to circularize, as you're actually going to be orbiting faster the closer you actually get to uh, the actual gravitational body. So I might be using, if not far future engines, at least near future engines to actually go there, or I don't know if that's really even required, but it might be. And I haven't really been able to. Not that I've really been looking for it, but I don't know if there is a Delta V map available for the Quack Pack. Air burn is finished. I guess maybe we could go on a bit of a tour, actually, what the inside of this ship is like. Because for those of you who are new, I actually have the free IVA mod. Oh, and I believe this module I actually resized to make it bigger. Or with the rescale mod. Yeah, so basically, I think we went from like here, like this module down to this section. Actually down to here. I was hoping we'd be able to like walk through into the lander we have in the cargo bay, but it looks like that's not possible. And it looks like we're already on a more or less ideal trajectory. So I guess we'll go with that. Okay, there's Eve. Well, we're on the dark side of it right now. Okay, now we just need to circularize. And we want to circularize at a fairly low altitude because or also the re-entry, the entry into Eve's atmosphere might be too hot for my ship to handle. Okay, I think that's about as circular as I can really get it. This actually works out that that we've entered at pretty much almost the perfect, well, we're still 3 degrees out from Gilly's orbit, but it's actually kind of good that we did this. Because, I mean, it naturally happened like this to where we're almost lined up with Gilly's orbits. So I guess that works out. For if we actually want to go to Gilly after we went to and from the surface of Eve. And we're actually a bit more than halfway done. Well, I'm actually about more than halfway done with my nuclear saltwater fuel, but on my interplanetary stage. But once we have expended, once we expend pretty much all of this lander here at the front, our Delta V is going to go up big time. So we should have still have more than enough to return to Kerbin once this mission is done with. And I really like how Eve looks with the volumetric clouds. Though I can imagine it actually makes choosing a landing site harder Because now Eve has a cloud layer that now Eve has a cloud deck that you can't see through. So I guess now is time to initiate our landing. And, okay, now, the Jebediah's in the lander can. We can, start, So one thing I found out about this ship, actually, while testing it, is it takes quite a long time to actually slow down in Eve's atmosphere, so I might have to... Well, if I want to land on the day side, I might have to, I guess, start, like, maybe from here. So actually, our periapsis is, like, over here, so we still have quite a while to, aerobrake before we actually slow down enough that we start to fall down. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick save first. Oh, that's really cool. Like, I really like that effect. I like how, like, Eve's, like, sunsets on Eve are, like, green. It's just pretty interesting, where I think when we were on Tecto, those Tecto had, like, magenta kind of sunsets. But anyway, let's, okay, we want to separate our lander from our mothership. And then let's... Okay, I don't want to burn off part of our mothership, so I'm gonna have to be a little careful with about those engines. And now we just need to lower our periapsis sufficiently into Eve's atmosphere, so really the atmosphere can do the rest of the work for us as far as slowing us down to land. Yeah, the volumetric clouds definitely make Eve look a lot more like Venus does, for sure. And if you don't know, of those of you who are new to KSP that are watching, Eve is the Venus analog. Oh yeah, I realized I put no lights on the lander. And so this next separation might get a little, I found KSP Physics doesn't really like this next stage separation because I have parts that are clipping, so I may have to turn the cheats on momentarily so that doesn't, nothing gets broken. Okay, so I just want to warp, or time warp until, we actually get to, where we start to fall down into the atmosphere. Okay, we want to deploy, our heat shields, which I have an action group for. Now we just wait. Yeah, these clouds look really cool. Oh, what was that? Well, hopefully that was nothing important that blew up. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna sit through the rest of this in normal time, speed, because of physics time warp, it kind of gets hairy during, atmospheric entry sometimes. Okay, now we can turn that off. Just kind of playing around with different panoramic views for getting a video thumbnail, possibly. So pretty much most of the atmosphere up until this point is actually pretty gentle. Once you get down to around 50 kilometers, really, it's like it goes from it's like almost like you're running into a brick wall. So in about a few moments, this is we're gonna start to experience some G-forces. Okay, just gonna turn on RCS just to, at least through this really rough phase of the re-entry, make sure we stay dead on that prograde heading. is if we so much as go a little bit off course, our lander's gonna get exposed to re-entry heating and get destroyed, or at least have parts blown off of it. Okay, this is really getting dicier now. Okay, fairly soon we're gonna want our parachutes to activate. Well, that's I set those as the next stage. Okay, this is not good. It looks like we're over an ocean. Well, so I guess we're gonna have to redo this landing. Okay, good news. I'm on the second attempt at this and we're not. According to our biome display, we're not over an ocean this time, which is good news. Yeah, these clouds just look awesome. Especially the different layers. Oh, and also those bubbles are from parallax. Yeah, that's actually a thing on Eve with this mod, which is interesting. Okay, now it's time to detach the thing on the bottom. Looks like we might be landing on top of it, so hopefully those separatrons I attached at least helped somewhat. And we're actually not, looks like I actually put enough parachutes on this thing that, we might be going at a safe landing speed, and we're not gonna need the, like, engines to slow down at the last minute. I really hope that debris is not directly going to be directly under where we're going to be landing. Well, I guess we'll find out. Okay, good. It looks like that's off to the side, so it looks like we're not going to be landing on it. Yeah, also I really like the ground scatter on Eve. It looks pretty interesting. And there we go. We have touchdown. Okay, so I did actually go to the effort to put a ladder on this thing, so that even under Eve's gravity, we can actually put boots on the ground. So hopefully, let's go do that. Well, these ladders are a little finicky. Yeah, it looks like retracting that one helped. And it looks like that dreaded sliding lander problem is happening, but we're not going to be on the surface for very long. Yes, let's plant a flag. Well, I don't really know what else to put there, so there we go. I think actually let's go through a day-night cycle so you can see what that's like. Okay, we're getting to a sunset, it looks like. Yeah, these bubbles also glow, which is interesting. Now we're on day again. Yeah, I mean we're in nearly 2 times Kerbin gravity here. Like, yeah, like that's me jumping. Yeah. Okay, now I guess let's get back on the lander. So maybe sometime later in the future I might consider actually doing another mission here, at least to see the oceans. And maybe some of the other features of Eve, but it's gonna be really difficult to get off of this planet because of its, you know, the high gravity and high atmosphere. Yeah, this is kind of inside the lander can, though not really a whole lot to see. And I also brought the atmosphere thing. Well, it's a fluid spectrovariometer. Heh. Oh, I would continue this on from here, but I feel like that would make for a bit of a long video, so I think I'll end this here, and then on the next video we're gonna lift off from Eve and go to Gilly. So thank you all for watching. This has been me, Dusty Circuit, here to bring you another Kerbal Space Program video. If you liked what you saw, remember to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to see my next video, be sure to hit the bell for notifications. And peace out. Bye.